Good morning, Minister Conroy, Minister Lundy, Deputy Chief Minister Barr, Dr. Lee, and Your Excellency, and invited guests. I can see we're having a competition about who had the hardest time as a student with computers. Well, given that I'm almost a decade older than the Minister, I can tell you that the two stories you heard, they had it really easy, whether they're using cassette drives or punch cards. I did my first computing on a microprocessor on the actual chip, and we had to program in assembler. It was tough going, so it's come a long way. I should also add that I, in fact, the first year I was in university, we were still designing amplifiers with valves. So it just shows you how far technology really has moved. And I can absolutely testify to what the Minister also said, that Minister Lundy has been passionate about getting broadband for Gungahlin. In fact, I was only in the job, I think, a couple of weeks. Was the only employee, I think, at that time in the company, and I was collared by Minister Lundy, who wanted to make absolutely sure I knew that the residents of Gungahlin needed a better broadband solution, and they needed it soon. But as Minister Lundy knows, the rollout sequencing is in fact an independent and objective process, and it's largely in the hand of our network planners. So it is in fact fortuitous that we are here, and I'm especially pleased to be here today, very early in our network build, and it's a privilege to be part of the opening ceremonies here for the fibre services in Gungahlin. As you all know, the NBN is a mammoth undertaking. To provide high speed and high capacity broadband to every premise across this great continent of ours is a huge engineering task, but we are now well underway. We're in a rapid ramp-up phase, and our fibre build now is well underway. We're aiming to pass 286,000 homes and businesses with our fibre solution by the end of June this year, and to have in fact completed the entire country by mid-2021. But for those of you living in Canberra, the NBN is in fact coming soon now. We are on course to complete the rollout in Canberra, and in fact across the whole of the ACT within the next 3 years. A few weeks ago, as you know, we added the first 2,500 premises in Gungahlin to the network, and work has also commenced in Civic, just south of us here in the construction. More recently, we added another 1,500 premises here in Gungahlin, and that will continue to grow. For those 4,000 homes and businesses, it is now easy to connect to the NBN. On the NBN website, you can see that there are currently, and that number will grow, but there are currently 7 retail telcos offering a range of broadband plans over the NBN here in Gungahlin. The prices for those plans are in line with what you would pay for services on broadband services on a copper network today, but obviously the speed and performance over the NBN fibre network is significantly better. We're still seeing exponential growth in demand for broadband, both in speeds and capacities, and we expect that to continue for quite some time, driven by the developments in video-based devices, such as iPhones, iPads, tablets, PCs, and the new 4K video standards that have been released, and new TVs are on their way. So what we saw on that what looked like a really excellent high-resolution screen upstairs, that's the beginning. The televisions that are now being released are in fact have much higher resolution and much higher colour fidelity. So the building of this nationwide broadband fibre network is happening just in time. I'd also like to remind you that as a government business enterprise, NBN Co's objective is not to maximise profit, but rather to drive wholesale prices down as fast as possible while providing an acceptable return to the government. I'd now, if I could, like to thank a number of people. And first of all, I'd like to thank Silcar, our construction partner for the ACT, New South Wales and Queensland, and the company that did the physical construction here in the streets of Gungahlin. Silcar will in fact be constructing almost 56% of that end towards that end June target of 286,000 premises. Peter Lamel, the CEO of Silcar, joined by Richard Kellaway, and his team are working very hard to turn that target into a reality. So my thanks, Peter and Richard, to you and your teams. I'd also like to thank many of the local stakeholders, obviously Senator London, Dr. Lee, and the ACT Government, and not least Ross James from the Economic Development Directorate. Thank you to the Gungahlin Library, especially Kate McAllister here at the Digital Hub. Thank you to Ewan Brown, who's the President, Peter Elford, VP from the Gungahlin Community Council. And my thanks also to iPrimus and Telstra for their efforts in what you saw today. And most importantly of all, I'd like to thank the people of Gungahlin for your patience and perseverance as our construction crews and the Silco construction crews move through your streets. Sometimes, obviously, disrupting traffic. But I'm sure you'll agree that the disruption has been worth it. After many years of poor broadband, you now have access to one of the most modern networks in the world. It's a network which can provide 100 megabits per second download services today and 1 gigabit per second services, 10 times that quantity, within just a couple of years. And that is also only the beginning. This network can keep being upgraded. What's being put in the ground will last simply for decades and decades. So we've seen this morning one of the applications of the NBN. I think it's no exaggeration to say that this network's going to have a significant impact on people's lives and businesses. So finally, I would like to assure you that the people of NBN Co, together with our partners, look forward to broadbanding the rest of the ACT. Thank you.